All right. Here we go. Another beautiful day here in Fort Worth, Texas. Another day of just enjoying the goodness of God in the land of the living. I'll tell you, I don't know if I've ever been in an environment that is just so conducive of peace. And I'm not talking out in nature. I'm talking in the city. And just being around just people, atmosphere that is just so peaceful. There's so much serenity. Actually, just walked right around the corner. They have an event going on in memory of 9/11. And just a glorious community where togetherness and interconnectedness is being seen all around me, and even afforded me the opportunity to connect with people as well. And I think that's why I'm still out here. I go home in the evening, late at night, maybe 9 o'clock, 8:30, and then take an Uber back down here, just because I am a people person. I love people. I love connecting with people. I love watching people. I love being able to share my story with people. And I believe that's why we have a story. It's not just so we can keep it to ourselves. It's not just so that we can, be isolated with it, but rather it's for the purpose of us sharing that story so that in turn it could not only strengthen us, but possibly even help somebody that you share it with, you see. And that's where we start finding our purpose, I feel, our fulfillment, our satisfaction, if I could say it like that. I know for myself. Now, I'm not saying everybody will have a podcast, although who's to say you can't have a podcast? Be an influencer. We're all influencers in one dynamic or another. We all influence those that are around us. We all tangibly influence the atmosphere that we're part of. And what I mean by that is that we all possess energy. We all vibe at a frequency. And so when we learn to tune into that, or to be aware of that, and to allow that vibration to increase, that frequency to rise, then we start transmitting that frequency into the atmosphere, into the environment that we're standing physically in. And I don't know about you, as for me and my body and my mindset, I want to be able to influence even without saying words. I just want my energy everywhere I go to radiate, to speak, so that when people get around me, they sense something different about me than maybe even what they're experiencing in their own lives, or maybe what others are projecting from their own physical or spiritual radiance, you see. And so as we understand these things, as we become more in tune with ourselves, more in tune with what we're projecting, then we start seeing connectingness, our connections. We call them divine connections, interconnectedness, we start seeing that happen more and more in more of a dynamic way, more of an organic, a real way, so that people walk away from their encounter with you or your encounter with them saying, wow, that was really refreshing. That was a blessing, and that's the meaning of life, is that we can impact people in such a way that when we depart from their presence, or they depart from our presence, that there was something meaningful that took place, something organic that took place, something that impacted the very being that we possess, the very core of our being, that we're elevated, you see, elevated. So as we go through our day, let's not assume that we're just going aimlessly with no purpose, just meaningless through life. No, let's assume that we are actually influencing the atmosphere, our surroundings, and start seeing that everywhere you go, as Scripture says, you are the fragrance or the aroma of God. You're the aroma of Christ. I used to say this little saying back in the day, it smells like Jesus, and that literally should be what people sense when you come into their presence. The presence of God, the presence of Jesus, you see. And so, could it be just a little shift that needs to take place, whether in your own mind, in your own heart, just a different perception in life, a different view in life, a different approach. When you wake up, say, you know what, this is going to be a memorable day. This is going to be a good day for me. This is going to be a day of great joy, of great influence. I'm going to learn how to capture moments today in my life that will be breathtaking. How does that happen? Well, first you've got to be mindful of it. Being mindful of your objective. Being mindful of what it is that you want to see transpire or come to pass in your day. Viewing humanity through a whole different lens. Viewing humanity through the lens of love, through the lens of inclusion. And that's not to say that everybody has to be like you. No, diversity is divine. I was thinking about this, and in fact, I told somebody this morning. Isn't it amazing how divided we get as a people? And yet, God made diversity. God's the one who made diversity. The enemy didn't come up with diversity. Diversity is divine. And so, if God is the one, and God is love, God is spirit, if God is the one who has created diversity, then how much should we include diversity into our lives? Why are we so protected by walls and so all of these boundaries that we establish in our belief system, in our mindsets? Why is it that we, only look out for R4 and no more? Instead of being inclusive and seeing that, this is divine. Inclusiveness is divine. Diversity is divine. And the polar of that is that division is diabolical. Division is diabolical, you see. And so we don't set out to be diabolical every day. I would imagine most of us would set out to be the best version of ourselves. But if a person doesn't know certain things and a person is unknowledgeable of certain things, Scripture tells us that people perish for what? A lack of knowledge. And so I've spent 24 years of my life deconstructing wrong ideas, either of God, of me, and others. And I've done my best. Can't say I've always hit the target, but I've set out to make sure that I'm doing everything in my power to remove bad thoughts and replace them with good thoughts, so that I can be the best version of myself, you see. And so I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here with that thought. I want you to think about it today. As you go about your day, be the best version of yourself and try to influence, because you are influencing in one way or another. In a chaotic scenario, how are you going to bring peace to that situation? Maybe you're experiencing chaos right now in your life. I would say to you, let the peace of God rise up in you, rule in your hearts. If you have to verbally say peace, be still, then let that peace be still. And if it's maybe something others are experiencing, just allow your peace to start projecting out of your life to where it can tangibly change the atmosphere. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.